Welcome to an unboxing video with theplayersaid.com. I'm Grant. Today I actually received in the mail a shipment including 2 games from GMT Games, and this one that I'm unboxing now is Ancient Civilizations of the Inner Sea, designed by Christopher Vorder Brugge and Mark McLaughlin. And the game developer, you'll notice it's very interesting that they put the game developer's name on the front of the box, Fred Schachter. We did an interview with Mark and Christopher, my gosh, it was in 2017, so well over 2 years ago, just shortly after this game was announced on the P500. And I found the game very interesting. I've kind of followed it along as they've done different Inside GMT articles and different things have been posted. And now that I have it, I'm pretty excited because I really want to get this to the table. I was actually talking to Tim. And if you'll remember, Tim used to be a part of our blog. He stopped being a part of the blog about 2 years ago, but he actually texted me about this and wondered if we were getting a copy. And I told him yes, and he was excited about trying it out. So I'm going to try to get Tim, Matt, and Josh, which I think you guys have seen Tim and Matt in videos, and then Alexander and I, we're going to try to do a 5-player game of this sometime in the near future. Don't know when that's going to be, but we'll definitely try to do a 5-player game. Maybe Alexander and I will just do a 2-player game. And then I'd also like to try out the solitaire bot just to see how it works. So anyway, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get this out. This is one of the newest P500s. It actually just started shipping in August, and I just got my copy here in early September. And the box is really tight. I opened it earlier trying to get it out and just kind of check it out a little bit, but really nice artwork. You can see a close-up view of it. I think they did a good job of capturing the essence of what this game is. It is a civilization building game, and I think it's intended as a, kind of a lighter fare type game. It uses cards, and here's a look at the spine. So we'll talk a little bit about that as I go ahead and open it up. I did want to point out there is this note. Tony Curtis is their production manager. He does a lot of the costing out of games, and you can see that there was a mistake in the rule book. It refers to brown discs. I think when they're referred to brown, they're really light blue, so make sure you hold on to that and remember that. Here's a look at the rule book. It's not really that thick, 24 total pages. Really great examples, graphical looks at how you set up. Here's a 2-player setup right here. This is a 3-player setup and so forth. There's a 4-player setup. So you can see a lot of this 24-page rule book is just setup instructions. There you can see in the table of contents, it goes through a 2-player through a 6-player setup. I think all the solo bot information is included in the playbook that we'll get a look here in just a minute, but I don't believe this is a very complex game. I've heard a lot of good things about it as people have been playing it over the last month. So glad to have a copy and look forward to getting it to the table. So here's the playbook, you'll notice. And GMT is famous for these playbooks because what they do is they walk you through how to play the game, in essence. And I'll show you here so you can see solitaire play is listed here in the table of contents. So that goes through, and then I think there's also various scenarios that are a little more warlike, I think, and a little different than the base game. But I don't know that I know enough about that to go ahead and comment on it. Here you can see this playbook is 60 pages, so 3 times as big as the rule book. There's some quick reference stuff on the back. But this has a lot of different examples as well as talks to you about the solitaire play. So there's that. There are some stickers that I think these go on the wonders. So you can see you're trying to build the Grand Gardens of Babylonia, the Great Pyramid, the Grand Temple, Mausoleum, Great Library of Alexandria, Stairway to God, and then the Great Lighthouse. So there's an example of those wonders. There are wonders that you can build But those are nice looking stickers, and I think those are blocks if I'm not mistaken. And then these are the different cultures that you can play. You can see there's about 10 of them, I believe. Carthage, the Celts, Egypt, Gaul, Mauritania, Minos, Mycenae, Phoenicia, Rome, and Troy. So there are a lot of different options. These are a little flimsy. I noticed that I'd seen that on some of the critiques of the game, and it looks a little flimsy. They're nice looking, but they are a little flimsy. But once again, I don't know that you use these a whole lot. You're going to basically just use them to guide you through the game. So there's the player cards. There are some sequence of play. I also noticed on Board Game Geek that there's an updated player aid card, which I looked at it briefly. I'm going to check it out and may try to print that out as well. But you've got a sequence of play on the front, and then you've got some of the events, some of the different rolling elements, what happens at the end of the epoch, and it even references, you can see there, the page 23 of the rule book. So looks like a good resource. There's only 4. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't grab all of them. Looks like there are 7 of these. And then here, so there are 6 sequence of play cards, and then there's 1 solitaire player aid card. So this is what you're going to use when you do the solitaire game. So those are nice. Good that they have that many. There are 2 maps in this game. We're going to go ahead and fold it out. But, I've also heard a lot of people make complaints about the map. This is a bit of an abstracted game, so I don't know that it's that important that, it looks like exactly the geography of the supposed inner sea or Mediterranean. But, some people are going to be upset about that. I'm more interested in the gameplay mechanics, frankly. I do want nice components, don't get me wrong. But if the gameplay suffers and the components are great, then I'm not a happy camper. But here's kind of a look at the western end of the Mediterranean. Here's Celt Iberia, which is basically Spain. You've got Mauritania here, North Africa, Carthage, Rome, Gaul, you can see. I'll go ahead and open up the other. Yeah, they're big. There's a big play area, so you're going to have a lot of space once you get it all set up. There's the famous Italian boot you can see. I'll go ahead and try to get you a little different perspective. So you can see that's a big map. It really is. But this represents the eastern end of the Mediterranean. You got Phoenicia, Egypt, Troy there, Mycenae. And then there's the western end of the inner sea. Overall, I think it's a nice looking map. I think it's functional. I like how some of the spaces are very large. This is a capital, a little bit bigger than some of the other areas. I think the lines of demarcation between spaces is very clear. The writing is very clear. Here's the turn track you can see here on the left. And then you've got a victory point track here on this side of the map. Right there. So, all in all, I think it looks functional. I like the color. I think it's a clean looking map. And I'm okay with it. So let others complain. I don't know that that's something that I'm overly concerned about. There are 2 decks of cards. One appears to be a Wonder, and actually it may be mixed, but you've got a Fate deck and then you've got a Wonder deck. And basically the way this game works is if you're playing the solitaire, the bot is going to kind of draw these cards, and they're things like natural disasters, floods, earthquakes, plague, disease, famine, lack of water. And then there's also barbarian raids that you're going to draw out of this deck. Let's go ahead and... But then the deck is also going to be used to take actions. Building, these are hard to open, so bear with me while I rip these open. Using my teeth, that's the only sharp thing that I've got right here. Yeah, the cards are really nice. They're thick. Here's an example. You've got an earthquake, volcanic eruption, famine, storms, and then here's a person. And once again, I don't know all the rules. I did this interview many couple years ago. But you can see there's a lot of different types of cards. Widespread plague, metal forge armor, so you can do some technology advancements. You can build the wonders. Different things are going to happen. You can do trade. So there are a lot of options. I'm going to be honest, these cards are really cool looking. So there's a look at one called Civil War. But these are really nice cards. The art's really cool. I'm going to say graphically they did a very good job on this one. I think for an abstracted game that isn't a heavy war game, but more of a Euro-style civ building game, I think this looks great. These are great looking cards. But there's a look at that Fate deck. I'll go ahead and open the Wonder, which I also think has some Fate cards in it. And once again, I don't know all the rules about how they come out or how they're played. We'll just have to learn that together after I take a look at the rules. But here's the Wonder cards. And remember, there's 7 wonders. So you've got the Grand Gardens, the Grand Temple, the Great Library, the Lighthouse, the Pyramids, the Mausoleum, and the Stairway to God. So you can see that when built, place 5 discs from supply atop this card. During the acquisition step of your growth phase, you may remove a disc from this card. If you do, place it into an area you occupy, then gain 1 talent. Talent is money. So they give you different abilities once you have these built. I'm not sure if you can win by building a certain amount of these, but they definitely help you win in the long run. So there's a look at those Wonder cards. And once again, they look really great. That art is really fantastic. Just graphically very, very pleasing. And then there was a whole bunch of new Fate decks, Fate cards in there. Here's kind of a different one. These are red, and these look like they might be the Barbarian Invasions. Sea Peoples Invade, Mesopotamian Empire, Northern Hordes, Southern Raiders, Atlantis Rises. Actually, Atlantis sinks, but you know, it's going to come out and attack you, the Breath of God. So those are a little different than some of the other ones that we saw. But that's a look at those cards, really nice. And this game comes with a whole bunch of wood. So the game, like I said, is Euro-like and has a whole bag of wooden pieces. These are different discs that are represented by that represent the different cultures. These blocks are what you're going to put the Wonder stickers on that I showed earlier. There's some pawns here that are embossed. That one has a star. I don't know what they're used for. Probably victory point, tracking of some kind. Now you're probably going to track your VP with discs, but there are a lot of wooden bits to this game. High quality production. I think it looks cool. I also, Mark McLaughlin, he's done a lot of very interesting games. He's done some games on Napoleon. He's done a game on Vietnam. He's also done Hitler's Reich, which we enjoyed the elements of it. It just, for us, it kind of fell flat. And, it would have been a game, I think, that I was looking more forward to. Maybe it needed a little more development. I'm just not sure. I think the concept, that card conquest system, was interesting. But Mark does some interesting games. He's been doing this for a long time. We like Mark. Mark, I've done probably 5-6 interviews with him and enjoyed doing each and every one of them. But here you go. Here's a look at Ancient Civilizations of the Inner Sea. I was going to show you the box back. GMT always does such a great job. Here you can see the different elements there on the bottom. What does it give? It gives, for solitaire suitability, it's a 9 because they have an entire functioning solitaire bot system. Complexity is a 3, so it's a very low complexity game. Plays 1 to 6, full solitaire system, 14 plus. It is area movement, as I showed you on the map. Does it have a playtime on there? I don't see a playtime, and I can't remember from everyone's comments what the general playtime is. But anyway, looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be interesting and fun. I'm going to have a good time with this one. I'm going to try to make sure we can get our friends together and give this one a go. So there you go, guys. This is a look, once again, at Ancient Civilizations of the Inner Sea from GMT Games. I'm looking forward to this one. I hope you are as well. and we'll hopefully have a review video up in the next month or so. I would really like to play that 5 or 6 player game and get a feel for that as well before we do any videos. So thanks for listening. I'm Grant again. If you liked what you saw here, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to our channel, and you can check out our written blog at thePlayersAid.com. We have a lot of AARs, designer interviews, what we call action points, monthly update reports on GMT games. We do a War Game Watch feature. So we do a lot of different types of content that hopefully will give you a good look into the types of games that we like. But there you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.